Okay, so I think the first matter of importance we have is police and fire radios and some money associated with that. So I don't know who wants to go first, Chief Clerk or Chief Schertner? Talk about. Oh, you're still muted.
Yeah, I'll definitely let the fire chief start with this.
Okay. We have a aging, is everyone ready to go, Anna?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. We have an aging radio communication system that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's been well known for Chief Galvin worked on it and had a really good idea on how to do things. But the technology that he wanted to do required really high towers and line of sight, which the topography in Berlin doesn't allow you to do a lot of that because of the up and down hills and so forth. So the ball has kind of been passed to Chief Schertner and I, and like I said, we deal with it with the poorness of the system on a day-to-day basis. And what our proposal does is upgrade the existing technology, which was 1980s technology, bought and then installed in the early, I believe it was 90s, Chief?
Yeah, so right around 99, we started, 2000, we started looking into it. 2002, we purchased the items that were used off of eBay that were already about 15 years old, or 12 to 15 years old. And by the time it got implemented, it was 2004.
They're basically replacing the equipment, or you're still going to use the old one?
No. The old equipment is pretty much seen its days.
Okay.
I think we haven't got into it in great depth. We had very brief discussion with the radio vendor. There may be some scrap like worth to them that would come back, but he wasn't sure how much. And so it's the proposal is to replace the two existing UHF repeaters. And just so that, and Eloise had a really good question the other day. Let me go back a half a step about radios and our neighbors. We're in a spot where we have a UHF band. Marlboro has an 800 band. We go automatic mutual aid with them to the mall and the highway. And Northborough has a VHF band, which we go automatic mutual aid with them, and they come here when we need help. So right now, if we had a fire and both those communities came, I would be like 3 radios in my pocket, okay, to talk with everybody. And so if you look at phase 1, that goes after an AFG grant to supply all the personnel with portable radios that will talk to each of the bands. That's everyone, wherever we were working, whatever happened, they could turn their radio to the appropriate frequency and ask for help if they needed it, or give you an incident size up, whatever it was going to be. Okay, so that's been applied for through a federal FEMA grant.
Can I interrupt?
Of course.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure I'm on the right thing. We're reading from the February 25th letter, phase 1, or is there a newer one?
Nope, I think that's the one I'm reading from.
Okay,
Janet.
I'm sorry.
phase
I'm
1.
sorry.
No, that's all right. No.
Okay.
I want to make sure that you're right there. So it's like, so that's like kind of at FEMA now being evaluated by their people, and we haven't heard yet whether we get it.
But that grant also only covers firefighters, does not cover the police side.
Yeah, that's FEMA, and assistance to firefighters grant is just for the red team people.
Oh, it doesn't cover police, that's separate? Oh.
Yeah, there is no grant for us for portable radios.
Oh, okay, I thought you were on the same network, no?
So we are on the same network, but they come out with what we call red team grants and blue team grants. And this one, the fire department is extremely lucky to get. That's not in our cards to buy these portables on the police side. We have tri-band radios in our cars, or well, starting to put these 3-band radios in our cars so we can talk to other communities.
The same with that.
Chief
The
Clark,
same with the, I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
how many portable units you're getting with this cost?
The request for, the way that FEMA does it is for riding seats. And we requested 30. That's like you count
30.
up all the riding seats in the engines, the support vehicles, and you get a portable for each seat. And it will be really close to be able to give all of our people the radio, so they have it all the time. So it's like, but FEMA doesn't give you radios to give to people. They give it for the riding position. So the official thing is they're for riding positions. So it's like, so that's where we are with phase 1, waiting to see if we get approval for that. And that's like $245,000. And it covers, those radios do all 3 bands, 800 UHF, which we have, and then the VHF, which North Pole has. Kind of unique here. I kind of did the same exercise that we're doing here where I came from. We only had to worry about UHF radios. So it was a little simpler, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
So phase 1 is going to include everything you need. If I got that right,
Everything on the portables.
on the portables.
Just
Okay,
portable radios. There's 30 requests for 30. And,
okay,
and also it's those, there's 30 of those leather holsters that you see the guys wear, put on the outside of the turnout gear, 30 of those. Everyone gets a radio, everyone gets a holster and a charger and a spare battery. So everyone's operational.
but Mike, I guess didn't answer my question. I didn't ask my question correctly. This phase 1 will allow you to talk to everybody with 1 radio.
Correct.
One portable.
Okay, 1
Yep.
portable radio. I got it.
Yep,
Okay,
Yep. Instead of carrying 3, I'll only have to carry 1.
okay,
Yep.
But
Okay.
that's still fire only, correct?
correct.
Those
For the
30.
No,
portables,
no,
yeah.
well, no, we can cross our interoperability onto the blue team side with that portable on the UHF, because they're UHF also. So we can have, there's interoperability between the red and the blue team, and we do it all the time. Because I'll be going to an accident or a fire call, and if there's a police officer, the sergeant might be there before me. He'll call and give me an update over the radio. I just pick up my microphone and call and talk with him. So it's like, it gives us the radio, and the word they like to use for the communications is interoperability. You go from one organization to the other. So it's like, it's a critical, like, it's the same thing, interoperability with Marlboro, interoperability with Northborough, and all our other mutual aid partners, which those 3 bands cover everything. So that's where we are with 1. On 2, one of the weaknesses that we're currently dealing with is the aging repeaters, which we explained earlier. So our plan, or proposal, I should say, and we'll work with the radio vendor, a very experienced radio vendor on this, is to replace the repeater on Taylor Road, replace the repeater on Coburn Road, add one at the public safety building on the tower that's here, and add one for the DPW on Coburn Road. I guess they had one fail. I don't know when that failed because I wasn't part of that. And they have a loaner, so that could be taken back at any time. So that will give them communications also on the UHF. So again, there's interoperability, public safety to DPW, which is often done. So it's like, that helps us immensely on the street every day. And then the next thing that we investigated with our vendor and went to another vendor who is a specialty for this is the fiber optics. Currently, we have Verizon hardwired copper lines. 3 to 5 years ago, Verizon stopped maintaining them, and they're just sitting there now. And it's copper, it deteriorates, and hardly an incident goes by, and I can say this very, very carefully, is that we miss radio transmissions with dispatch. Either they ask us to repeat or we ask them to repeat what's coming back. So the fiber optics will assist us in making a modern connection from the hub, which will be 23 Linden Street here, to each of the repeaters, and from the hub here, also there's a connection where we can get into the regional dispatch at Devens. So this is kind of like the hub. That's already here with some of the equipment. So all we got to do is match up the new with the existing fiber optic going up to Devens. And we've priced that all out. It's all included. We've been in touch, had extensive discussion with the CM Geeks about it, and a fiber optic vendor. And that would tie the Coburn Road to here, and with an extension at Weston Coburn, we could grab the highway garage. And then we come from Taylor Road back down, and correct me if I'm wrong saying the street, Central Street to Taylor Road to Central, back into Linden Street here, tie that in, tie the new one in here. And what it does, it goes into a voter, what they call a voter. And what that does is that sees, when you do a radio transmission, it might hit more than one tower, and that picks the best signal to retransmit, and it just sends it. So that's the job of the voter, is to pick the best quality signal and repeat that out through the system. So we also have, that would give us the ability with some short extensions to tie in some of the town buildings to get a town fiber optic loop for, again, it's above my technology grade. I'm the worst one for technology on that, but it would tie in, give the capability to tie a bunch of town buildings together. DPW, the old town hall, the library, the public safety building in the town hall, whatever they wanted to do with that. It was the capability with there because they're running believe looking at the spec is a 12-strand fiber optic to each of the buildings. So there's multiple things you can do with that strand.
So Chief, let me understand. So you're gonna string the cable on the Verizon poles all the way to these cell towers?
That is correct. The vendor will do that with that money that's proposed, that will help us.
That's included in this proposal, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Can I ask my questions now so that?
Of course,
so-
go.
because I'm just afraid I'm gonna have.
Can
so
I just
many.
interrupt? Because Eloise has had her hand up for a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
So-
can't see anybody.
Oh, that's,
Okay.
it's fine. I'm just gonna have you pause. I'll have Eloise and then we'll come right back to you.
No worries.
Eloise. It's all you. Maybe.
You're mute, Eloise.
Yeah.
Unmute.
Is it okay?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hi,
there we go.
Eloise.
Okay, dead spots in Riverbridge. Since a lot of this money would be coming from Riverbridge, I want to make sure that they are covered.
The coverage, I have been told by the vendor that the coverage will improve down there. Right now, we have two, what they call BDAs. This is bidirectional antennas. And this is where some of the seed money for this, the 300 and, correct me if I don't know the exact amount, Chief.
300,000's left.
Okay,
344 left.
344. Okay, thank you. And
I might go out for ice cream, Ed.
okay, I'm with you. And and there's a BDA on the hotel, and there's a BDA in the clubhouse at the Riverbridge Apartments. And we have good communications there. Another part of doing this, which we already have in the inventory, is a mobile repeater, which if we have a bad spot down there or anywhere, we go into the 40 Caves area, it's already been used in there. We can plug this into a cigarette lighter in a vehicle, put up the antennas, use it as a mobile repeater. So any of those, there's no system at all anywhere in the, I shouldn't say anywhere, but it's a very few systems that have 100% coverage. We're running for 95 to 98 in that window with what we want to do. And it's like each of those repeaters creates like a circle where you can communicate from, and they're going to overlap, like the three proposed repeaters for public safety will overlap. And if there's any areas that we don't have communications for some reason, whatever, it might be interference from the sun, whatever, then we put this mobile repeater, which we already have in inventory, into service and make up the difference.
So does police also have a mobile adapter there?
No, the way that we structured the standard operating guideline for that is whenever that's needed, blue team or red team, it gets activated and put into service. They can use it. Their frequencies are in it, so they can use it also. So it was not just made up for the fire. It's made up for both agencies. All we gotta do is turn it on, and it's like a radio head in there. You go to the appropriate frequency and you got it, whether it's blue team or red team.
I support the program. I just want to make sure it's comprehensive. I don't want to find out, oh, it's not for the 5G or
Yeah, I'm not
have a
I'm not sure how
smartphone,
that-
so.
I can't answer like how it interfaces with the 5G. And I know it's modular too. If you find a place down the road in 5-10 years, that's a weak spot, you can expand the system out with a little bit of fiber optics and another repeater to cover an area. You know what I mean? It is, it's expandable.
So,
And it's
you know,
a
I just
lot-
gotta chime in for a
Thank you.
second here.
I've been talking too much.
Yeah, one of our major issues has been when the system was put online in 2004, it worked pretty decent. Over the years, every year gets traditionally worse. It got to the point, I remember when Cabela's was being built, we did radio tests all over Cabela's. We had radio communications. Then it was like overnight, our radios don't work inside Cabela's anymore. We can't get out of Cabela's anymore, and the tower is right there. So we need to identify the repeater system and in the copper lines. So when I call out of Cabela's, if I hit the tower, it goes from Taylor Road to the city of Framingham via copper, and then to Devon's. All right. So we're operating an antiquated system. This is like having the state-of-the-art iPhone and trying to run it on a cell tower from 1995. You can have, our portables are the iPhones, but our repeaters are the cell phone technology from 1995. Imagine that. There was no 5G, there's no 4G, there's no 3G. We're almost at a breaking point. 48 hours ago, 3 officers were going to domestic. They could not hear dispatch. They're trying to read their apps on their phones and their MDTs to figure out what's really going on. It's been an issue for the last 5 years. Unfortunately, I don't think it's been projected upstairs, and we're at a breaking point. I mean, I think dispatch would confirm our radios are horrendous, and it's our lives. I mean, you got 55, 60 employees that rely on these things, and
Every day.
it's just not working. So we need to replace the repeaters first. Get on fiber optics, get on modern technology, and then we can address Riverbridge. We don't even know if those BDAs are probably only working 50% at Riverbridge because we have old technology on the poles or on the towers, and we're not getting 100% out of our repeaters. So we're definitely not getting 100% of our BDAs. We could replace these 3 repeater or 2 repeaters and add one and find out that this is phenomenal coverage. We could also do it and say, you know what, maybe next year or 2 years down the road, we're gonna have to replace the BDA at the hotel and put a repeater there. And yeah, it's gonna cost us $140,000, but we're not spending that $140,000 up front. The microwave system probably would cost, I'm guessing, around $1 million to implement in town. But if you're up on Sawyer Hill Road and you looked out at the sunset, you would see towers sticking out of the trees with antennas on them for our radios. I think that the way we're going, the fiber optic and the modern technology definitely is going to be such a huge enhancement to our system. And then we can go to Riverbridge and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we do need another repeater down here. But I don't want to go throwing up 5 repeaters all over town just to find out that, you know what, we could have just survived on the 3.
Chief Clark, during the
Yes,
test,
sir.
during the testing procedure, can you verify that you have some kind of communications at the river bridge? So the worst thing is having surprises and then, oh crap, we need another $100,000. Yeah.
Well, I've been on a number of incidents to Riverbridge, and I yet haven't been on both medical and fire calls. I have not had radio communications there. It might be a little spotty, but it's like it's worked. And it's like they got the BDA in the clubhouse, and there's also a BDA across the street on the hotel. So that those, depending on where you are, help you. And it's like, and truthfully, I'm like I take my responsibility as a fire chief very, very seriously. And it's like, I have a job to send people into harm's way when something happens. And I need them to have the ability to ask me for help if they're in the middle of a building, and I need to hear it all the time. So it's like, there is and I don't want to use it as a scare tactic, but there is a safety factor here that both of our personnel are involved with. And it's like chief's people and my people. And it's like, I don't take my responsibilities really lightly. I think we haven't worked together a long time, but hopefully everyone would agree with me on that. And it's like, and this is just one way to kind of close that liability window to an incident. So we know we got communications 99% of the time, that liability window closes almost shut. It never is shut, but it really closes it. And that's how I look at my job and what I have to do. And it's like, I got a lot of passion for it. And it's like, you probably hear it, you're probably sick of listening to me. So it's like, that's the way it is.
In this quote, you have obviously hardware and software that goes with it. And I found out that on software, it's charged it twice. Is that a mistake, or is it the same part number? It's $14,000 each time. If you look at page 3.
What are we looking at? We're looking at the, which spec are we looking at? The radio or the fiber optic?
Not sure. It says quote 1642573.
Yep, okay. What page you on, John? I'm with you.
Page 3.
Yep,
It's a 1, 2, 3, 4th line down, says add digital conventional software. $14,000.
I think that just shows you, he has 3 prices there, but I think this vendor shows list, a sale price, and then extended sale price. So it's like, I'm not sure why he does that format. I don't know.
If
But
you look at
all
page, if you look at page 4, it's the same part number, same quote, again, $14,000. So
It may be because we're running on 2 frequencies. That we need the software for fire frequency and we need it for the police frequency.
The repeaters do both blue team and red team. That may be why, like the chief said.
ask that question. Maybe
I will ask
it in. I
it.
don't know. Yeah.
Nope.
If it's one system, it should be one software update.
But
The
I think
software,
that
they hide a lot of stuff in there.
but it's one repeater, but it does both the fire UHF frequency and the police UHF frequency. Does both. So it's like all 3 of them will do both. So you can actually look at that circle out from the tower. It's coverage for both the blue team and the red team.
Did they cover the maintenance fee on software and warranties and all that stuff?
The warranties are usually a minimum of a year. And the warranty that I got in writing was the fiber optic one from that gentleman. You know what I mean? I know the Motorola stuff. I've used Motorola for years. The first year is all warranty. I mean, from when it's put into service, not when it's like purchased. You know what I mean? It's a 1-year warranty.
And the warranty
Well, I can
is
find that out.
is it replacement or repair? So let's say your portable unit fails. You don't want to wait 4 months to get repaired. Get a new one.
Yep.
During the
And
warranty
just so,
period.
and just so you know too, if we order these tomorrow, we're looking at like a with the supply and demand stuff, or the whatever they call that now, there's like a 6-month lead time to get the equipment in.
Yeah, I can tell you a mobile radio that Chief Galvin ordered last June just came in the first week of February.
Oh,
And those used to be off the shelf. You used to order them and they would have them to you the next week. So even mobile radios are 7 months out right now. I mean, I'm still waiting for a cruiser that's been sitting in a parking lot since November. I called on the lights and then they told me another 4 weeks. So it's
Yeah,
been 16
yeah.
weeks just to get lights to put in a cruiser, where it used to be, on the shelf like a grocery store.
are you buying any spares, or can you live with that one or two if they fail?
No, there's no spares. These
No
just
No
go up
spares.
and,
So,
yeah, and if you have,
with this system, being on the fiber optic, if one tower goes down, another tower will pick it up, or the other two repeaters will pick up. The issue we have on the copper system is that copper line goes down, our radios go down.
Yeah,
So with this system, having the fiber optics, it's going to be pretty difficult we'd have to have a major catastrophe for our system to go down.
okay.
And I am looking at that quote, and I do believe that that's the 2 frequencies that you're talking about. When I say add the UHF R2, the 6300 or 5103.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, folks, the capital planning committee is without Anna right now, so no votes can be taken. I don't know where she went, but looks like I've become host, and I'll keep an eye out to see if she shows up, but
Okay,
I know
but she's not
she's
here.
away, Margaret.
What is that?
I know she's away. I know
She is.
she's not in town, so there might be a problem with her connection.
that's right, yeah.
Well,
So I know
I'll
the other
keep
time she
watching
was
for
in-
her in the
yeah,
audience
yeah.
to see if
I've
she
been
can get.
watching too.
Okay.
I have more questions if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
fire
Yeah.
away, John.
The generator, do you have space for it and electricity provided, or I know that's an extra cost?
I'm sorry, those were made, those are planned to go on a small slab and then have their propane fired and at least 5 to 7 days of continuity of operations with that. So they'll be sized with the propane, and there'll actually also be a small fence around them for security reasons, so someone can't walk up and mess with them.
Do
So
we
it's
have
electrical-
propane?
What's that?
Do we
No,
have
no.
propane?
No, we'd have to get.
No, the propane we put in a tank. That's what you got, like if you got a propane
but
dryer or stove.
I know what propane is. I have it. My question is, do we have propane here?
No,
We-
diesel. We have diesel here. At the building, we have diesel.
The
You'll have
current
to buy a
generator here is
500 gallon
diesel,
tank or something like that. Yeah.
but I found in my experience that it was to get away from the hazards associated with diesel to go with the propane. And there's no environmental hazards. If you get a leak, if something failed, it just dissipates and go to atmosphere. There's no residual residue left in the ground. So they're small. I think we talked from 2 120s up to a 320 on a tank with the propane vendor, and depending on how many days you want to go out, that it could run on its own and just be self-sufficient, that continuity of operations.
Then you need electrical wiring from
Yep, that's part of
for
the,
the fuse box. Yeah.
that's part of the, cost of the generator. That's included with some wiring.
Oh, it is.
You
Okay.
jumped
To-
ahead of me on the phases here. I didn't,
Yep.
we didn't get that far. I was wondering where it's within the quote for the propane.
Yep. Well, I think
Okay.
there was just a question on the propane. That's why we went there.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
What else
biggest
you got,
issue-
Janet or
Yeah, the
John?
biggest issue we have with the propane is, number one, we can get you a cost of propane today, but this is literally probably a year out.
I know, I just got my tanks filled up.
I mean, in November, I thought I was being good by putting in $3 a gallon for gas for FY23, and we soon learned that that's not That's not a good number. So, Ann just emailed.
Yeah, I read through this and tried to understand everything.
Well, anything they have a question on, just ask, because Chief and I
Yeah.
have been over this 100 times.
I have one question.
Yes,
In-
ma'am.
Radios, can you use cell phones? I don't have one, so I'm not sure. But everybody seems to do everything on their smartphone.
Yes. So
Well, I'm not sure what you mean when you say use your cell phone, like to do what?
In lieu of the radios. I mean, they have so many cell phone apps.
I don't
Yeah,
think
the cell phones aren't designed for the weather. You know, we're not going to be pulling out a $1,500-$1,600 cell phone in the pouring rain or taking it into a building fire. You know, that they're just not built for it. I mean, there's always been talk. I mean, you know, 5 years ago when we started having radio issues, I know FirstNet was talking about, you know, linking our cell phones, and that's what we'll be using for our portable radios. But I still don't know anybody that's come out and done that yet.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Good question. Thanks,
is it,
Eloise.
is it public safety issue? I mean, issue with security or stuff like that going on the public network?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing is you're jumping on a public network too. You know, you're at the mercy of cell towers.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you'll be on mercy of those anyway, you know?
well, yeah, but it's our individual antennas, and where we'll have 3 in town, you'd have to have a catastrophic event, not just a power outage or a tree down. You'd have to have a catastrophic event.
Is there a leasing fee for the cell towers to hang your repeaters up there?
No, that's
Not that I'm aware
where we
of.
just replace the existing equipment that's already there.
Okay, you have it already. Okay.
And the other thing that Chief and I have talked about as we move forward, if someone requests to put a new tower up, when the ZBA does that hearing, in most places they do a ZBA hearing, what you do is you request as part of their licensing hearing, you request future use for public safety radios in case you need it. They did that for a bunch of mine, and then 10 years into our system, we went to the country club in Hopkins on a cell tower and we were able to talk from 495 in the Mass Pike back to headquarters because we had done that. But it's a lessons learned. You don't know that right to start, but just bringing in some of the lessons learned through experience.
And the recurring maintenance fee is $3,800. What does that include, do you know?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. I'm sorry.
The page 6 of that same, oh no, it's more than that. Oh, wait a minute. When it talks about
It's a maintenance agreement. It's like an insurance plan for the fiber optics.
yeah, it's $3,800 a month.
No, I think that's the year.
Per year.
A year, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah, that's a year for the, if that's what you're looking at, the fiber optics, that's a year. I asked them to give me an idea of what it would cost. June had a good question about that, about is there any recurring costs with that? And that's the only one that he came up with. And most of the time, as the chief in his experience, is you might want something damaged from a motor vehicle accident, but you just attach the insurance from a motor vehicle to get it fixed.
Does that include any software upgrades? It should be free.
I think any software is included in the sale, and I'm not aware of anything that we have to upgrade existing software that we have now. We're going new, and the new stuff will come in with the new software, if that's applicable. And it's like, yeah, there was no discussion with either of the vendors that we would need to upgrade existing software in anything that we have here. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that we had extensive discussions with them, but that was never a topic that was brought up by them. And anything that's put in new, I guess there may be I had a 3 repeater system where I came from, and I don't ever remember in the 16 or 18 years that since I worked to put that into service where we had to do any upgrade like that. I don't remember that to do one.
Probably
I've
work
done
to
one since I left. but I don't know.
It's probably worth to ask the question, because modern equipment, they're constantly fiddling around with software updates. It should be automatic and free, just like iPhone.
Yeah,
I-
so,
Make a
yeah,
note,
so for that
I'll ask.
3,800 a year, right now, we currently spend, I know June's on here, around $350 per month for the copper lines for Verizon. And if we attach the DPW to us, then their internet can come from our building, which saves another $100 a month. So it's about a $5,400 savings that we just transfer over to 3,800 for an insurance policy on our fiber optics. So it's not going to, we're going to save minimal money, but we are saving money versus what we've spent right now.
Yeah. All right, I was making notes when I was reading this, so let's see if I have anything else.
That's all right. No, yeah,
Yeah.
just whatever you, yep, this is the
I
time
know,
to
this
ask
is-
questions and get answers.
Yeah,
We
this
don't get
is
them, we'll get them
complex
to you.
system.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is we are not going to know where we're at because our system, it never hasn't been running at, I'd say it's probably running about 50%. So we're never going to know how effective those BDAs are at Riverbridge, Rockwell. We're not going to know until we actually get the system up and running. We could have come together and proposed a plan to put a fourth tower in, but I'm a frugal person. I know Chief Clark is on the same page, and I just don't want to spend money that's not necessary. We're not going to
Right.
know the true cost until we actually have a system that's up and running.
And I would never, again, going back to that zealous part of me, I would never bring in a system and want you to participate in it if it wasn't safe for my personnel. You know what I mean? It's like, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So this is, I think,
Another question, sorry. Are there any government requirements or restrictions for this private network communications? Because you're switching from public Verizon into your own system.
nope, not that
Are
I'm
there
aware of,
any
no.
FCC rules or stuff like that for that?
Nope.
Or this
The
company,
FCC
make sure they take care of everything, yeah.
The FCC comes in with the licensing of our frequencies. We each have frequencies, and every like 5 to 8 years, depending on that, you have to re-license
no.
your
Gone
frequencies.
again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Janet's been holding off on questions. John, when you're finished, I'm just going to facilitate, I guess. I'd like to give Janet a chance to ask her questions.
Okay.
Can I just ask who JON is? Should he be a panelist versus an attendee? I don't know who it is.
I don't know either.
JON.
Oh, I bet you, how
No.
much you bet that's the lieutenant?
Okay, so the
Who's listening?
panelists are right now are appropriate, and the only one we're missing is Anna. So we've got Eloise, Janet, me, Eric, Chief, and John. I think
Okay.
I want to promote June too, actually, so.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. It says attendees. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm on the wrong one. I apologize. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to insult you.
No,
Just
no,
wondered who you
I'm
were.
almost done. One more question. On the project final summary, it lists survey, project management, installation. It does not include test. Make sure it's included final test in there.
Oh, the whole system. The last time that I was involved with the 2 repeater system, which expanded out modular concept similar to this to 3, you're talking maybe a day and a half to 2 days of testing just to make sure everything works, because you don't want to accept it and have something like wrong with it and it goes down. Once you have it, you want it to work, be functional. You want everything that we do safe, efficient, and effective.
Yeah. All right, I think that's about it.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Janet,
You're welcome.
you have. She's muted.
Janet, you're mute.
Sorry.
Okay, there you go.
So a couple of things. I'm a little confused, but let me just finish and then you can answer. Does fiber optics first run with the repeaters, or are those 2 separate things.
You want me to answer now or you got another question?
Well, that's my first question. Well, I have a lot, but here's what I'm
Okay.
wondering. Would it not be helpful to all of us who really don't understand this for not the vendor to come in maybe with a real and explain it all to us? I know that sounds like a lot, but we're going to spend a lot of money. And I'm all for public safety, and between my family in the last year and a half, we have used it immensely and I appreciate it. But I also have to be thinking of the town and being fiscally responsible for why I'm sitting here. And I have so many questions. I'm just wondering if maybe we had somebody that could come in and speak to all of us, so we got all the information all together, all at once, and get the information that way. And with that said, do we have to have 3 vendors, 3 bids from 3 different vendors? Because, and maybe there aren't 3 different vendors that do this. I don't know the answer to that, but to spend this amount of money, we need to have more than just one quote or one bid is my understanding. So I'm saying that, so that, just keep that in mind. I'm also thinking, is this going to also cover highway? If we're going to go to this big expense, should we not think of them as well? Or is that being like silly?
Good.
I
Want to go back to and start at the beginning? I think I got good answers for all your stuff. If you
Okay.
could go start at the beginning again, because I'm old now seeing it. So I
fiber optics with repeaters, are they
Okay,
the
so-
same system?
The repeaters are mounted on one of the cell towers, and instead of a copper Verizon line attaching the repeaters to the building here, it goes over fiber optic. So there's a connection, then a loop from Taylor Road comes back here, a loop from Coburn Road comes back here. And at the same time, when I say Coburn Road, to answer one of your other questions, the DPW or the highway department will be included because they're the 4th repeater. Okay, that's in this plan. That's highway department, just for Freddie's people. And that you'd connect them by going from, correct me if I'm wrong, Weston Coburn to the highway garage and tying them in with some fiber optic, whatever needed to be done there. So I think I got 2 of your
So
questions.
we've got Verizon. Yeah, we have Verizon laying fiber optics in town.
Nope.
No.
Verizon, no. This is gonna be a vendor that will come through our process.
Kind of like Charter does their own fiber
Well,
optics.
yeah, they do
Right.
coaxial,
No.
but it's
Gotcha.
like,
No, we don't have fiber at all. Not even Charter has it.
Well, that's where I was so confused.
Janet,
Okay.
to your
That-
question, Janet, to your question about quotes, bids, whatever, there are a number of vendors. So yeah, we'd have to go out.
Okay, so unfortunately, before anybody can vote on anything, I think we need to have 3 bids by law. I mean, hate to be the water on your fire.
Janet, we'd actually have to do that after a written proposal, a written vendor proposal comes in.
Proposal,
So we
right.
at least need a ballpark. It wouldn't even be 3 quotes. This is a massive project. So this would likely be an RFP. This is a huge,
Okay.
hundreds of thousands of dollar project. So this is not quotes. So we would actually have to do the whole full bid or proposal process.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
how do they go about doing that, Margaret? Because we don't want to hold this up, because I'm all for public safety, but again, I'm all for being fiscally responsible, which I do hear they want to do as well, because they're saying they don't want to spend, what did Eric just say, $1 million? That kind of caught my attention.
Unfortunately, this has all, I'm kind of still trying to catch up from this because this came about after I went out at the beginning of February. So
Right.
what I would suggest, and I don't know if Chiefs, you can tell me if you've already done this, have you already submitted the written vendor estimates for every part of this project to give a good idea about the comprehensive project itself?
We reached out to the vendors for a quote on, it was verbal on the propane and the generators. They haven't got the written one in yet, but it was written with the repeaters. The fiber optic system is written, and then the maintenance agreement on fiber optics is a written quote, and all of those are on the state bid list. So all those vendors are working off the state bid list.
Yeah, there are two more vendors. I do have a quote coming in from Beltronics as well. And I spoke briefly with Modular, who originally was trying to do that. I want to call it a centric system back with Chief Galvin, that, you know, to me is cost prohibitive. It's just, it's out of sight. I mean, neighboring towns are spending between 1.2 and 1.8 million dollars on their radio systems just for police. You know, so coming in at this at 388 is definitely the XL version of the radio systems, but it's all modern equipment and what we need to start as a base. You know, I mean, our whole thing is like, we're going to bring in these other vendors and they're going to throw up all these numbers at us and throw, oh, well, you need this, you need that, you should get this, you should get that. And, you know, it's out of my league. I particularly like this vendor because reminded when I got solar, I got 3 bids and one was 14,000 under the first bid I got. And it was the most honest person that gave me what we needed. And I'm looking at this and being here for the 26 years and going through all our radio woes that we've had. We've never had the radio woes this bad. I would rather be back on low band today versus what we're running right now. But obviously we can't do that.
Worked with Beltronics in the past on radio systems, but there's still an awful lot of stuff. You know, whether or not a vendor is on state bid, because of the size of this project, there are a lot of things we need to do in-house regarding the procurement.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm all for that. I'm just, you know, just like, you know, I have spoken with Modular and then spoke with Bernie at Beltronics yesterday. And actually I got to go up to Nashua and pick up our radio next Thursday. And he said he would have a proposal ready for me for next Thursday.
Does June have anything to say about this? I know that she has been Margaret's replacement, other than getting back to us for the written proposals, and maybe having someone come in and talk to us. I don't know, can June enlighten us anymore? I do understand poor Margaret is just coming in from being out, so.
June indicates she has nothing to add at this time. I know that she was waiting for the written proposals.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, without Anna, there's nothing that we can do here, right? Am I understanding that right, Eloise and John?
I'm seeing Anna. I'm seeing Anna.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. I just tried to promote her. Hopefully
Janet,
she's able to.
I agree with you that the presentation would be good for everybody to understand the whole network.
I think we need to have it live. I'm done with all this Zoom and Google and whatever else you want to call it.
I'm with you on that.
She's been working great.
Yeah, you are.
I am. I hope I didn't miss too much.
Well,
Now, I've been listening for a little bit anyway. So the last thing I heard Janet say right before Margaret promoted me was that there's not much we can do without, or there's not much you guys can do without me. And in some ways that's true, but in some ways I'm not sure exactly what we would be doing at this point anyway. I'm kind of with June to wait for the full written proposal. And I don't know if either chief covered this while I was fighting with the internet. About a total cost, if this is phase 1 and or phase 2, phase 3, is there a phase 10 that we're talking about, or is this installation and repeaters going to be the end of the need? And my other question is the 315,000 that was some sort of gift from last year for those microwave units. What's happened with that money? And if you've already answered that question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the 344 that came from Riverbridge is still there.
Okay.
Okay.
Still available for this project?
Yes, that's fully available for this project. whatever that, and I know I have it here because June just gave me a copy. It's someplace in my folder, the exact amount. And remind me what your other questions were, Anna, sorry.
My other question was if this total that you're asking for is the full extent of the project, or if you're just anticipating this being step 1 or step 2.
No, this is step 2A and 2B is the repeaters and the fiber optic.
Sorry.
The system is modular in design, where if something showed up down the road, then you needed to beef it up or extend out, then you could do it. You know what I mean? But right now, the chief and I, after speaking with the vendors, who one of them has 40 years experience in developing these, is that this will be safe, efficient, and effective for Berlin personnel.
Okay. And when can
How
we
many
anticipate?
years will,
Go for it.
sorry, how many years will it last? That's my,
The one that I set up last time is up and running, and it's 18 years old.
Okay.
Still up and running, still using I can tell which repeater it is by the noise it makes when it opens. So it's like, yep, you can hear that. I can still have a radio at home. I can tell which one it is.
That's beyond my lifespan.
Yeah. Hope not.
Yeah,
What
so-
else you got, Anna?
Yeah, the average lifespan is 15 to 20 years. And
Okay.
we've already
That's
doubled
what
that.
it should be, yes, yeah.
When can we anticipate that full written proposal with all the numbers and everything?
The initial quotes that I got should have been shared. You want more than that? There was a packet that was sent today after discussion with June on repeaters, on fiber optics, on the fiber optics maintenance, and it was on the generators. You know what I mean? So it's like some of the ancillary and related stuff, like on the generators, like there's not a written quote yet for the propane installation, but I knew what the gentleman at the propane place said, this is what it will cost when you do it. You know what I mean? So I wrote it down. It's attached to the cost. And it's like, I don't know if was that shared today? That should have been shared around today. Because that was sent, I think, just before noon, like 11-ish, 11:30-ish. I don't know. It should have been.
Did
But I know
others- did-
I grabbed the capital improvements committee email address there, and I kind of assumed that went to everybody, but maybe it didn't. And I have to like send it to individuals. But I know it went to June. I know it went to Margaret.
I
Yeah,
didn't
if I
get
might have,
anything.
oh, sorry.
I didn't get it.
Okay, yeah, if I might have June or Margaret forward that on to me, I will forward that on to our committee members.
Oh, no,
I have
I'm
your
gonna fib.
email. I will send that as soon as we're done.
Is it
Okay.
26 pages, chief?
Yeah.
It's a lot of, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of
I
stuff.
got it,
Jan.
Anna.
Did
I'm
you
just
get it?
seeing-
The
yeah, I'm
generator
just-
specs are all there. What else is there? The
Radio
repeaters
costs, fiber optic
that
costs.
John went over,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Mhm.
the fiber optics maintenance and installation quotes.
Okay. And if you guys currently have 344,000 available, the total cost of this system is 388?
We were,
Anticipated.
the letter went to the select board for additional ARPA funding for $44,803 to finish us off.
Okay,
The-
So that's
the
really what you're looking-
344 or 340 is existing now, someplace within the confines of the town of Berlin.
and that 344, that was from River Bridge, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
NRP.
Is there a way to go back to them and be like, oops, we made a mistake, we need more?
No, I think it matched.
I
the
have to be
cost.
really
Good
careful
try,
doing
huh?
that as the fire chief, Anna. You might be able to, or someone else with some like political
What?
pull, but
We
as a fire
can't even
chief,
get
I have a hard
taxes
time.
on them. I don't think we're gonna get
Oh
any
my
more
God,
out
yeah.
of them.
Yeah, I
Um,
get my fingers cut off trying to do that, Anna.
I don't know if you heard, I thought it might be helpful for all of us that don't really understand this, and I'm sorry for my ignorance, but if we were talking medicine, you'd probably be in the same boat. That they have a vendor come in and speak to us, and maybe that we could do something live. I don't know if you heard that or not.
I did.
I just think that would be helpful.
I
agree.
would love to have that happen. I think more education is always great because I also don't work in that field. So if that's possible, either chief to set that up, I think, we might love to have a brief rundown of how the system works.
Okay, what do we want to use as a platform to do that? Do we want to use a CIC meeting? Do we want
Live.
to use, what? So I can get a schedule and see what works for them, then come
Okay.
back to your group. And then invite whoever we want.
I think we
I
should
like
be
the
in
live one too. I'm like a live
the
guy.
conference room.
I'm sorry, John.
Yeah,
what?
an in-person meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did the
in-person
training
meeting, absolutely,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm all
Yeah.
for that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Um,
much more interactive. Yeah.
we can set up for our training room because we'll have the big screen with the.
Good
with the
idea,
rock.
Chief.
So.
Excuse me all, good discussion. Anna, I have to go, because
Margaret.
I'm phasing out here. So, I've made you host and
Thanks.
thank you all. Okay,
Thanks,
have a good
Margaret.
night.
See you,
Okay,
Good night,
good night.
Margaret.
Hi, Margaret.
So I'm happy to have it sponsored as a capital improvement meeting. That's fine. But why don't you reach out to them and see what works best for them, and then we're pretty flexible at this point in our schedule, so we can work around them.
Yeah. So just so I'm clear, the fiber optics and the radio vendors are fine. We don't need a propane supplier coming in and telling us how he's gonna put in a tank tied to a generator, or a generator
Right.
guy saying how he's gonna put a generator on a slab. We want to keep it at those major components, so it's clear in my mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say for me, I just would like a general understanding of how the system works. Janet, do you have more specific requirements?
I think she's gone.
Really? Janet left us?
You must
Janet
be-
left the building.
Man, okay, then I get, just a general, like, we
Yeah,
have a
no.
generator here, it runs off of propane, it sends a signal this way, it does loop-de-loops back, and everybody's happy. That works.
When you get the full proposal, and I'll send it to you and Janet I think Janet said she had it, but I'll send it to you.
She did.
They actually have a map drawn out that shows all
Oh,
the
cool.
sites, and they connect back, and kind of like
Like
this
schematics,
would be
yeah.
fiber optics. And I don't know if there's a picture of the what do you call it? The repeater, but then those will just go on the existing towers and they hook them together, or however they do it. Again, I don't need to know all that like minutia stuff, so.
Do you know what kind of waves they send out? Are they millimeter or microwave or?
I think they send out UHF radio frequency waves.
So we're getting away from the microwave system. Yeah, we're not gonna litter our treetops with microwaves.
Yeah, the
So
microwave is the one that's really, really,
that's
like-
very expensive.
as the chief
So-
said, that's the Denali package, and we don't need to go there to be safe, efficient.
They all have health effects as well, so I'd rather we stay away from microwaves.
Yeah, so
Yep.
basically, we're gonna go into we're replacing the identical repeaters we have, except for they're gonna be
It's new technology.
2022 versus 1988. And it's gonna go, instead of going on the copper lines, it's gonna go to the fiber optic line and come
Yeah,
right
to
here.
make the connection.
Right now, it goes on the copper line, goes to Framingham, then comes back, and then goes to Neshoba.
And it's just
Right.
new, same concept, just new technology, the newest technology they have. That's
Right,
all.
technology upgrade. yeah.
And the fiber optics replaces that, like the chief said, replaces those hard copper lines.
Right. So why don't, chiefs, you give me this opportunity? I will take a look at the proposal that Chief Clark's going to send me. I'll talk to Janet and see if she reads the proposal, if she still would like to speak to a vendor. And then we'll get back to you, either one of you, and let you know if that's necessary or not. How does that?
I just sent it to you, and I jumped out of here, Chief.
Thank you, chief. Yeah, and it's like the chief said, it's nothing that's new, it's just newer technology. You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah.
Repeaters are repeaters. This is just a new one, taking down an old one, putting up a new one. It's kind of like changing a bulb, so to speak, in your house. Take the old one out, put the new one in, and it runs. So it's like, and the connection is made with the fiber optic rather than the copper hard lines.
Basically, a repeater takes the signal from the cable and disperses it up in the air. Wireless.
Right.
No, it's the opposite. It takes the signal out of the air, puts it in the fiber optic, and then
It
sends
goes
it.
the other way, yeah.
And then we'll
It
send
comes
out-
through an antenna to the
It goes
repeater
both
to
ways,
the
yes,
fiber
you're right.
optics,
Yeah, so it's just the opposite. Yeah.
or backwards.
So,
If it's
that's the
like
issue we're having now, is
Yeah,
that
if it
we're
was
not getting a
received-
reception.
Yep.
You know,
Okay.
And if
If
we
it's
are getting a
receiving, it
reception,
comes antenna,
lost.
repeater, fiber optics, and if it's a transmission, fiber optics,
Correct.
repeater, antenna.
Yeah, because something's happened over the last 5 years, drastic. Because we used to be able to get the repeater, be able to open it up and send out our radio transmissions. But like now we have 0 radio transmissions in multiple locations in town.
Yeah.
0. When I mean 0, I'm talking 0. We're on our cell phones, calling and looking at our apps on our phone and using our MBTs. Because we for something has happened to our system. And that's why we're kind of not desperate to get it replaced, but it's necessary.
Absolutely. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions for either chief?
I'm done.
No? Oh. Well, John's
Gotta go
done,
get
so
it.
we're done.
I gotta go get a drink of water.
Yeah.
Hey, but
So
thank you
guys-
very much for the time, and know what I
Thank
like?
you.
Is you guys did all
No
your
problem.
homework. The questions were awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like I said,
Thank you guys for
coming.
coming and presenting.
All right, thank you.
10-4. Thank you. See you, Anna. See you,
Thank you,
John.
guys.
Take care, June.
Bye now.
Eloise, take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So for capital planning members, we still just have a couple things that I can think of to discuss. Oh, Janet's raising her hand. Hold on, let me figure out how to let her in. Oh. Okay, maybe not. Oh, wait. No,
No?
nope. Okay, Janet's not here anymore, even though she was raising her hand. I'm ready to be in person again, guys. Oh, wait, I see Janet again.
He's probably trying to connect you.
Yeah, maybe she's just telling me she's here, and I will try to figure out how to promote her as a panelist. View full. Oh, there she is. Did it work? Woo, she's rejoining. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
This is not my line of expertise.
There you are.
Not mine either.
No, this is it's not fun. So we just had a few items from last time that I think are still in a holding pattern, but I wanted to check in and hear if anybody had heard anything about community preservation entities.
Unfortunately, we had a power outage last night, and my end of town lost cable, electricity, and I wasn't able to go to finance last night. So June is here. She might have been there, and I don't know if anything was discussed.
I
Yeah.
I have no updates at all.
No, me neither. I have nothing. So it was conservation, which is part of community preservation, and then community preservation itself. that we decided to put on hold last time, and I would recommend that we continue to keep those two on hold.
Mhm.
Oh, Peg is raising her hand. I'm trying, Peg. We'll see. Peg might have some information. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Here we go. We'll let Peg talk. Okay. Peg is coming.
Hello. So I
Hey.
just wanted to let you know that Concom did not meet last night, and they did not meet the week previous because Carolyn was in Costa Rica. So the next time you may hear from them is next week.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, so we can hang out and wait to hear from them. Thank you, Peg, for that.
Anytime, Anna.
catch up. And I hate to admit that I feel like there was a third item that we put on hold.
South Street.
That's right.
Oh, the bridge, yes.
We're waiting for bridge
Yeah.
quotes.
I still have no updates on that either. Thank
I
you,
don't, I
Eloise.
haven't heard anything either.
Okay. Oh, June. Woo, I'm getting better at this. Here, I'll get faster at promoting June when she has something to say.
I don't think you have to promote me. I think I
Oh,
can
look,
just,
there you are. Hi.
hi. The last that I've heard, we had a meeting with River Bridge and they were waiting for the actual prices on their part of the bridge. Is that the bridge you're speaking of, or are you speaking the bridge on actual South Street?
South Street, yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
actual
okay.
South Street Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on with the river? You're talking about the River Bridge responsibility for widening the bridge over North.
Yeah, there's some other discussions going on with that. I apologize. So I don't
Oh.
have any information for you on the other South Street Bridge.
Okay. Well, thanks. It's nice to hear about the River Bridge. How many bridges do we have in town? Like 2, and we've just talked about both of them?
No, I think there's 2 on South Street,
Oh, okay.
right?
Never mind.
Yeah, and one on John's Road. Over the
Yeah, it's
river.
wherever the road crosses water.
Now, yeah, I was gonna
Good.
say one of the culvert type things, but no, that's something totally different.
Okay, so I'm going to recommend that we continue to hold off on those things. I will try to reach out. I still have not heard anything from Bob Conroy or from Berlin Memorial School. I don't know if June has heard anything. But other than that, we're still waiting on those items.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from the school as far as the actual projects, just the dollar amount that they had put in. I think it was 68,000 was what
Yep.
they had asked for, and that's all that I have.
Okay, that's all we have too. Okay, anybody else questions or concerns, thoughts?
When would we have our next meeting, or is that on hold?
I think that's currently scheduled. But I don't have access to the internet other than
April
on my
14th.
phones.
April
Perfect.
14th, it's April 14th at 7 o'clock is what I have coming in from the town calendar. That seems like a long way out.
Yeah.
It's probably a month from now or 4 weeks from today. Because typically that's what we schedule. Do we want to have a end of March meeting, something in a couple of weeks?
No,
to
I
see-
would suggest that we wait till we hear back from the chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we keep that April 14th meeting as our next official meeting? But if or when I get information back from the chiefs and conservation and community preservation and the South Street Bridge, if all of those ducks fall into a row sooner than that, I will send out an email and we'll get together sooner.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Perfect. So our next meeting's the 14th of April. Other than that, I will adjourn us for tonight. Thank you guys so much for showing up and putting up with my fantastic internet.